guys, this is Illusion Podfics, and today we're going to be reading Spider-Man Reborn by Reborn. The summary is, the spell Dr. Strange cast did not only make the world forget Peter Parker, it unmade him. Peter is reborn in Gotham, born into a new family with a second chance at life. Could he save them from Parker luck before he loses his family again? Can Peter survive Gotham and its rogues? Alright, and without further ado, let's move on to Chapter 1. Chapter 1. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. For a short time, that was a common fact. The world knew it. Everyone knew it. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. And Spider-Man is a murderer. The world learned to hate Peter Parker and Spider-Man. They learned to lie and believed it wholeheartedly. Spider-Man killed an innocent man, and the world fumed. Peter Parker was no longer safe. Aunt May was in danger, leaving the house. MJ and Ned couldn't go to college because of their friendship. Peter's friends and family were no longer safe. So, Peter did what he thought was his only option left. He had Dr. Stephen Strange erase Peter Parker from the world. If Peter Parker never existed, this wouldn't have happened. If everyone forgot about Peter Benjamin Parker, no one would know who Spider-Man is. Except there's no Peter Parker without Peter Parker. Erasing him from the world erased him. The world forgot Peter Parker. Peter Parker no longer existed. Thus, he was unmade. The world darkened as the spell finally settled over their universe. The Statue of Liberty would be remade over time. MJ and Ned were strangers to one another. Aunt May was never an aunt, dead and alone in the cemetery. Peter Parker disappeared that day, wiped from his world with a hollow smile beneath his red mask. "Hello, Peter. Welcome to the world," a woman's soft voice called Peter awake. Soft green eyes stared down at him, framed by waves of black hair tickling his face. A soft pitched sneeze shook Peter into full awareness as sounds and smells invaded his senses. Her perfume was soft, reminding him of hot chocolate on Christmas mornings. Her heartbeat sounded strong and assuring, a consistent beat from where his ear was pressed to her chest. His senses did not stretch any further than that, blurring into black and white around him. "Who are you?" There was an irritating beeping sound coming from the left. Whatever it was too far for him to see. He couldn't even turn to try. The sound was familiar enough. Something you would hear in the hospital or med room. Warmth surrounded him as the woman held him closer. Peter raised a hand to push her back, seeing chubby little fingers barely reaching her face. What the hell? The chubby hand turned, little fingers crunching into a tiny fist. It moved like his hand. Why was his hand so small? Where was he? He's beautiful. A man's voice drew his attention from the plump hand. What was going on? Black hair and blue eyes stared down at him, entering his field of vision. The chiseled face was unfamiliar, but so was the woman's. The man had stress lines and frown lines, dressed in a suit like Tony wore at times. A large calloused hand reached for his face, and Peter barely stopped it with his hand. His fingers instinctively wrap around the abnormally large thumb. Or is he just abnormally small? Peter remembered the fight. Aunt May and Green Goblin. He remembered MJ falling and Dr. Strange's spell. Everything is coming back to him from the single worst day of his life. His last family is gone because of him. He was forgotten, but they called him Peter. What is happening? Who are you? Peter couldn't stop crying, a screeching wail breaking past his lips that he couldn't stop. The woman cooed, rocking him gently as the man's index finger stroked his hand. The warmth and love he could feel from the couple was too much. It was too much, and he couldn't do anything about it. He couldn't tell them he didn't deserve any of this, that they'll probably end up dead soon too. They didn't know about the Parker luck and just what would happen. Peter couldn't stop the wailing as the woman continued to rock him. "Shh, it's okay, kitten. Mommy's here," the woman soothed, her voice soft as silk as Peter turned his head to her chest. The warmth felt so good despite their fate. Peter felt safe, despite knowing just where this ends up. Whatever this is, whatever the spell did, it just puts other people in danger, and somehow gave him something new altogether. Somehow Dr. Strange's spell turned him into a baby, and these people are his parents? Maybe? The woman called herself his mom, so Peter wanted answers. He needed answers. Peter wished he could make his mouth form the words, but he could only cry. He couldn't ask them anything. He couldn't warn them they were in danger. He couldn't stop crying, mourning for his life, for Spider-Man and MJ and Ned, for Aunt May who didn't deserve to die, for Happy left alone without anyone, and for Miss Pepper and her own child, without Peter there to babysit or help around the house, for Tony Stark and everything he worked so hard for, everything he stood for. Peter cried until he fell asleep in the comforting arms of his new mother, her soft voice wrapping itself in his mind with soothing promises. Bruce stared down at the newborn in Selena's arms. His black hair looked brown in the light, with soft brown eyes closed to the world as he slept. His son was finally freed from the baby's grasp, but he could hardly feel any reason to move away. His son, Peter Thomas Wayne Kyle. He looked so much like Selena's mother and his own father. He was perfect. Can I see him now, B? Jason's head poked into the room, Alfred standing right beside him. Bruce hummed, moving to the left so Jason could stand beside the bed. Alfred watched from behind him, his eyes twinkling at the sight of the newest grandchild. His name's Peter, Selena whispered, shifting the sleeping babe so Jason and Alfred had a better view. Bruce watched quietly, worried to break the soft moment as the second son's face scrunched at the sight. He's small. Jason poked Peter's cheek, pulling back quickly when the baby squirmed. Sorry. Selena laughed airily, her free hand stroking the newborn's cheek in apology. It's fine. He's not glass, Jason. Bruce glanced at Alfred, catching the elderly man's eyes. Alfred smiled a small nod of approval as Bruce felt himself relax further into the hospital room. He could never have imagined having his own children. He loves Dick and Jason dearly, but he'll never stop regretting that he missed their firsts. Their first, in a way, he'll be able to see with Peter. Peter, who will be safe and far away from vigilante life. Peter, who will grow up loved and cared for and normal. He's kind of ugly, you know? Jason's head fell to the side, studying the newborn with curiosity. Selena giggled, smiling from the bed while Bruce huffed at the words. Sorta looks like you, B. He takes after his father, Selena agreed, smiling at Bruce softly. Even after everything she went through for Peter to be here, she was as gorgeous as ever. Her green eyes alight as the smile brought a new life to her. The sweat had long since been wiped away, leaving her to only look a little bedraggled. He'll be better than me, Bruce promised. Peter won't lose his parents. He'll grow up surrounded by family and love. His son will have everything, and Bruce will be there for it all. He'll protect him better than he could have protected his other sons. Peter will keep his innocence, and Bruce knew he would do anything to ensure it. Alright, and that is the end of Spider-Man Reborn by Kuririn. So far so good. Don't be afraid to leave your thoughts in the comments, and make sure to hop over to AO3 and give Kuririn some love and everything, because without the author there would be no video. So yeah, have a great day everybody, and I'll see you next time.